Okay, this is the last Wings of Fire review video I'm gonna do for now because my cousins are visiting tomorrow, and I want to spend as much time as possible with them. And also because there are literally no other Wings of Fire things to review for now. So, after my cousins leave, I have some other ideas I want to do. This piece of hair on my face is driving me crazy. I just got a haircut. Anyways, the last thing I have to review is the Winglets Quartet and Hero, which isn't really in print yet. So, what's the first winglet? I don't have them in order memorized. I just know what happened in each one. I think the first one is Prisoner? Yeah. Prisoner. Okay, Prisoner. That's the one with Fierce Teeth and Saguaro passing notes to each other in jail. And Fierce Teeth, wow, she's writing all these lovely stories about her life and how she's like with Strong Wings, all the she's a Strong Wings all the time. I really don't think Strong Wings and Fierce Teeth are that good of a pair. I don't even like Fierce Teeth. I know she's like meant to be kind of a, she's not an important character. She's more of a minor character, but she's like a minor character that you're supposed to care about, and I just cannot get myself to care about her. In fact, when someone bought me this book as a Christmas/birthday present, I don't remember, this was a long time ago, I saw the first word on the back. Fierce Teeth. Wait, no. Fierce Teeth, over here. I was like, ugh, Fierce Teeth, I don't care about her. So I didn't read it. I didn't even finish reading this paragraph. I was like, oh, it's about Fierce Teeth. I don't care. But it's honestly not that bad of a story, especially finding out how young Nightwing life is, because you don't really have another perspective on what Nightwing life was like on the volcano. And I love how she titles the names of her letters every single time. I think it's funny. It's kind of cute. Alright, next one. Winglets number 2, Assassin. This one is about Deathbringer. I like Deathbringer, so I like this one. I know that there's a pretty big age gap between Glory and Deathbringer, but I think it was a mistake. Oh my god. I'm sorry I keep yawning. I record these videos late at night. It's the last thing I do in the day. I think it was really interesting to find out that Mudwings were on the Sea Wings side, right? Mudwings were allied with Sea Wings, right? Yeah, with Blister. And then they changed sides. It's kind of a confusing story. That's Assassin, it's really confusing, but honestly, if you're careful and you're not reading too fast and you reread a paragraph that you don't understand, you'll be completely okay. Next, what is it? Deserter, oh my gosh, I don't remember a lot of it. I know it's about Six Claws. I remember Six Claws. I remember how Dune and Six Claws are best friends. I remember no, not Blister. I remember Blaze losing her tiara in a sandstorm. I remember something happened to Dune in war, and then Six Claws was like in some sort of like medical tent with Dune. I'm sorry. I'm also having really bad like throat spasm. Something's wrong with my throat, so it's like a little hard to talk right now. Okay, yeah, so Six Claws and Dune are in the medical tent, and I think Kindle is in there, and then like Six Claws had a crush on her, on the nurse or something. I was like, oh, kinky. Not kinky, that's not kinky. I don't know why my brain went there. Something had to do with like Deathbringer changing Six Claws' mind about switching from Burns' side of the war to oh my god, I'm so sorry. Something happened with Deathbringer about making Six Claws go to, yeah, the Outlaws, and making him join the Outlaws and being like, you know, what is this war for? This war is stupid. I'm gonna join the Outlaws. So maybe I do remember more of that story than I realized. Six Claws wasn't really an interesting perspective to read from, I can't lie. Actually, most of the characters in this book weren't very interesting to read about. It was just like extra lore that if you were interested in, you could pick up this book and read about it. And then next is Runaway. I think that was more interesting. Snowflake and Snowfall. Pretty good evil lesbian queen couple. And the reason I think the Icewing Animus bloodline ended at Prince Arctic. I'm so tired. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. Yeah, the reason Snowflake and Snowfox, they like ended the Icewing Animus bloodline because they got married and they were lesbians, so they couldn't really have eggs together, so they had to maybe adopt a real Icewing daughter. That's my headcanon. Tui just says they just got unlucky genetically. Okay. Sure, man. You can't convince me that Snowfox and Snowflake didn't get married. And also, I want to say, I know some people are like, ew, Arctic and Fosslayer were disgusting. They fell in love way too quickly. But that's kind of the point. I think their relationship was, like, really, really cute. It had, like, that teenage love kind of aspect. Like, oh, my mom won't let me see you, but that just makes me love you more, and I'll sneak out to see you. That part, oh my gosh, that was really romantic. That was so cute. That was so cute. And then, I don't have proof of having this book because it's digital only, but there is a fifth winglet called Hero, and it's told from Cliff and Jasper's perspective. I think Jasper is probably the best parent in the entire Wings of Fire series, but that's kind of a low bar because a lot of parents suck in that series, and I mean a lot. Cliff, I don't know, it's not very good to read from a baby dragon's perspective because they're very crazy. So yeah, Cliff obviously talked like a baby, and then Jasper told the whole story about how Ruby had eggs and then Queen Scarlet didn't kill her for it because she ended up having a male dragonette who couldn't inherit the throne. But that makes me wonder, what if Cliff was like a trans woman? Would that count as having a daughter in Queen Scarlet's mind? I don't know. Cliff... Okay, so Ruby has a son, and she's like, oh, thank God I have a son. And the Queen Scarlet's like, fine, I won't kill you. And then Cliff is like, Mom, I'm trans. And then Ruby's like, oh, no. Oh, no, I'm gonna die. And then Queen Scarlet, oh, that's kind of a sad ending. Oh, man, that is a really sad ending. That's sad. That's very sad. Okay, so I think... I'm so tired. I'm so sorry. I think Hero is probably the most important winglet out of all of the 5, because Jasper and Cliff are mentioned in the epilogue of book 16, and that's when Ruby disappears, I think. I'm sorry if that spoiled anything for you. I don't know if you've read book 16 yet. I should have specified book 16 spoilers. So, yes, Ruby disappears at the epilogue of the book, and then Cliff is like, Daddy! And then it's a Jasper. So, it's kind of good to know who Jasper is. And also, with the 5th winglet, Hero, you could find, like, you could read the prologue of book 16 before it came out. And I have to admit, I didn't read it when I read Hero. I was like, oh my gosh, book 16 stuff. And then I didn't read it because, when I was reading Hero, I was only on, like, book 10 in my reread, and I didn't remember anything that happened in arc 3. So I was like, okay, actually, I'll just read book 16 when it comes out. And then I did. That's my terrible story. Oh, that was a terrible review. I yawned so much, and this was also really short, which I guess it's kind of meant to be short. And also, I didn't really want to record for long because I'm tired.